Infantry is usually expected to maneuver, to seek opportunities, but this infantry squad was not organized around speed. It was organized around a different assumption that in a high-intensity mechanized war, the real danger is not staying in place. It is forcing the formation behind you to slow down. After the motor rifle doctrine was formalized in 1957, by the early 1960s, the Soviet Army had moved past experimentation. NATO forces were permanently deployed in Europe. Any future conflict was expected to be prolonged, mechanized, and fought under continuous fire. In this environment, infantry was no longer treated as an independent battlefield actor. Its role was to maintain contact, absorb pressure over time, and ensure that the larger mechanized formation could continue moving without losing tempo. The question was no longer how flexible a squad could be. The question was, when pressure does not stop, what inside this squad has to carry that weight first? What carries the burden when pressure does not stop? So, to operate under that pressure, what did this squad bring with it? Item 1, PK, general purpose. Machine gun. This weapon was not introduced to make infantry more mobile. It exists because rifle fire alone was not durable enough nor long-ranged enough to maintain contact inside a mature mechanized formation. Once the PK was standardized in 1961, the squad gained a true squad-level fire point capable of sustained fire over time at distances beyond individual weapons. In this structure, the PK is not a support weapon. It is the point around which the squad is organized. Spacing, movement rhythm, ammunition distribution, engagement methods, all are calculated around keeping this weapon firing. When the PK is operating, the squad can maintain contact and carry its assigned role within a moving, mechanized formation. That is why this weapon is carried. Item 2, spare PK barrel. Sustained fire is not limited by ammunition alone. When firing continues over time, heat becomes a physical constraint that no doctrine can bypass. The spare barrel exists so the PK is not forced to stop simply because it overheats. Without it, the squad's primary fire point would fail before the pressure does. Item 3, PK ammunition, belt, 100 round. The 100 round belt is used while the squad is moving. It allows the PK to continue firing without anchoring the squad to a fixed position. This belt supports mobility without sacrificing continuity of fire. Item 4, PK ammunition, belt, 200 round. The 200 round belt is prepared for moments when sustained fire must be held longer from a relatively stable position. It exists to extend time under pressure, not to increase aggression. When movement pauses, this belt keeps the squad functional. Item 5, RPG-7 anti-tank rocket launcher. The RPG-7 does not exist to search for targets. It exists for situations where armored threats close the distance enough to break the squad's balance. It is a corrective tool used only when contact can no longer be managed by small arms fire. Item 6, PG-7V high explosive anti-tank rocket. This high explosive anti-tank round is carried to ensure that when the RPG-7 is employed, it produces immediate effect. There is no allowance for warning shots in this role. Item 7, AKM assault rifle. The AKM is the standard personal weapon for most of the squad. It does not replace the primary fire point, but ensures that each individual remains combat capable when separated from it. Item 8, steel AK magazine. Steel magazines are preferred for durability and reliability. In this squad, equipment failure creates delay. and delay is unacceptable. Item 9, PM Makarov pistol. This pistol appears only in specific roles. It does not expand firepower, but preserves self-defense in confined, close-range situations where rifles are impractical. Item 10, Fragmentation grenade. Fragmentation grenades are used to force the enemy to disperse or abandon covered positions. They shape space, not outcomes. Item 11, Smoke grenade. Smoke exists to conceal movement, not to attack, but to prevent the squad from being fixed under enemy observation and fire. Item 12, R105 field. Radio communication keeps the squad connected to higher level command. Without it, the squad loses synchronization with the formation it supports. Losing communication means losing tempo. Item 13, radio battery pack communication over time requires power. The battery pack exists so coordination does not fail before the mission does. Item 14, optical binoculars. Binoculars are used to observe and confirm targets, not to hunt for engagement. They reduce uncertainty before fire is committed. Item 15, BTR-60, armored personnel carrier. The BTR-60 is more than transportation. It defines movement speed, dismount timing, and how infantry reintegrates into the mechanized formation. The squad does not move freely. It moves in relation to this vehicle. Item 16, an 82mm mortar. This indirect fire support is not organic to the squad. Its availability means the squad does not need to resolve every problem with direct fire alone. Item 17, steel helmet. The steel helmet is not meant to stop rifle rounds. It exists to reduce casualties from fragments and shrapnel. The most persistent threat in prolonged engagements. Item 18, field uniform. The field uniform is designed for durability and practicality, not comfort. It supports endurance, not performance. Item 19, leather combat boots. Leather boots support sustained movement across varied terrain over long periods. Mobility here is about persistence, not speed. Item 20, backpack. The backpack carries water, ammunition, and personal equipment. Without it, the squad cannot remain effective once time becomes a factor. Item 21, water canteen. Water exists to maintain combat effectiveness. Dehydration reduces capability faster than enemy fire. Item 22, individual first aid items. Personal medical items are used to treat minor wounds immediately, keeping soldiers within the formation longer. Item 23, entrenching tool. The entrenching tool is used to dig individual fighting positions and shallow trenches. For this squad, temporary defense is not a special case. It is the default state whenever movement pauses. Item 24, AKM Bayonet. The bayonet is not only a close combat weapon, it is also a multi-purpose tool in field conditions. Item 25, gas mask NBC equipment is not intended for frequent use, but it ensures the squad can continue operating in contaminated environments. Item 26, anti-tank grenade. The anti-tank grenade is carried in specific situations as a last resort option at extremely close range. This is not everything the Soviet Army ever tried with mechanized infantry. This is the configuration that remained. Once Doctrine demanded the ability to absorb fire over time, maintain contact, and avoid disrupting the tempo of larger formations behind it. Every item in this squad exists not to create flexibility, but to make staying in place, continuing to fire, and holding a defined role a controllable option. This infantry squad was not built to seek individual outcomes. It was built to avoid collapse when pressure does not stop. And that is why this structure persisted. Through a long phase of the Cold War,